Lomshak.
And good Monday evening, Pitt State football fans. Welcome to another installment of the Coach Tim Beck Show, presented by CDL Electric. Eddie Lomshak along with the Coach Tim Beck. We're at Chatter's Restaurant and Bar in Pittsburgh, our home on Mondays during the Pitt State football season. Glad to have you with us wherever you are around Gorilla Nation. Well, the good news, Pitt State
in your home or
is
business that you
3-0,
keep...
and not always orthodox, I guess, or how you draw it up, but it's a bottom-line business, Coach, a 27-26 win at Truman State that had a few bumps in the road, but it was smooth enough at the end, I guess. So I know as a coach you always preach consistency, and that was not the key word the other night, but found a way, and that's the bottom line.
Yeah, it is, and there, who would have thought you could turn the ball over 5 times, have a punt block for a touchdown, have an interception return for a touchdown, and still have an opportunity to win the game. And
don't forget 11 penalties and 2 kickoffs out of bounds.
Yeah. Thanks for reminding me. and trust me, I didn't forget. But you take all that and then having an opportunity even to win the game. The game could have really got away from us in the first half if it wasn't for our defense being able to hang in there and kind of go back and forth with some turnovers. 4 interceptions, ended up being really big plays for us. And got to give our kids credit, though. They really hung in there. As frustrating as it was for the viewers and for the coaches, how frustrating was it for the players to do some of the things that we were doing offensively, but yet, making big plays and then turn the ball over, make another big play and then turn the ball over. So it was extremely frustrating for the kids, too. But the thing we got to remember is they're still kids. They still make mistakes. And the bottom line is they were able to play hard until the very, very end. And it was the very, very end before it was over. So
yeah, it was. Used about all 60 minutes of it. When you have turnovers on 4 consecutive possessions in the first quarter, you can sit there and reaffirm fundamentals about tuck the ball, secure the ball, things like that. Do you ever go to the role of playing psychologist and try different things? Any magic things you say in that situation?
Yeah, 4 consecutive offensive possessions. Then we have a kickoff return for a touchdown. And then we have another offensive possession with another turnover. So really 5 offensive possessions in a row where we had a turnover. So, and Zach was extremely frustrated. So, that's not a time to get on somebody. That's a time to try to calm them down. And, hey, calm down, relax, and let's start over. It's unfortunate we had to do that a couple of times. We had to start over a couple of times to kind of get going. But at halftime, the other thing was at halftime, they were frustrated, and it just didn't start the way we wanted it to. And things happen, and you've got to be able to handle them. And we handled some things okay, and didn't handle some other things as well as we needed to. But again, the bottom line, like you said, was our kids. They never gave up, and they played extremely hard till the very end.
You look at those turnovers and, laying the ball on the ground, you can say, well, they're breakdown in the mechanics. The weather was a little different. Any common denominator in your mind?
No, I don't think so. I think, Bryston's and Andrew Castaneda, about 3-4 years ago, the officials decided, they don't blow the whistle anymore. And a lot of times you'll see a play where the whistle's never blown. And that's a lot different than it used to be, because both of those fumbles, I really believe, if they would have been blowing a whistle, they would have forward progress was stopped. Bryston's was maybe a little bit more than Andrew's, but Andrew was, he caught a ball on a hitch, turned around, he was stuck right there, and then going backwards. So the ball was, and then the ball kind of comes loose. So, not making excuses. We got to do a better job of securing the football. But the other thing, if it would have been the other way and that would have been their player, I would have understood that we wouldn't have got the ball because their forward progress was stopped. So, that's two of the 4 fumbles. And then, Zach's got a really good run over there on their sideline, and he kind of gets, as he's going down, he kind of gets cranked around. And you'll see players, when they get put into a really bad position, sometimes they end up letting go of the ball. And you don't want that to happen. But it just does. It just so happens he was right on the sideline, and it was like, it just wasn't going our way because the ball just hung. It just hung right out there where they could recover it.
Was that not a horse collar tackle?
I don't think it really was. I think there was another one on Solomon that was. I think Solomon's been horse collared 2 weeks in a row and hadn't been called, but he must be a horse collar susceptible or something. But Zach, they kind of just cranked him around and turned him down, and like I said, he got into a bad position, and let the ball go, and like I said, it just hung right there on their sideline, and they were able to recover it.
You know, I was talking last hour on the show that your first 2 weeks, really a good job to complement one side of the ball with the other. When you get those takeaways and you get that field position, you need to be able to cash them in. And how frustrating is that? That not, you know, I mean, you get Nate's takeaway, you're on the 14 and don't get any points. So, you know, giving it away is one thing. When you miss those chances, maybe you don't know how many you're going to get in a game.
That's exactly right. You know, if you score early, or there's an opportunity to score a couple of times early, it changes the whole complexion of the game. Things change completely. And the longer it went, and you know, us having to come from behind, you know, we go in at halftime 13-10. I was amazed it was 13-10, because it very easily could have been 21-28. You know, we could have been down 21 points, and again, that's a credit to our defense doing some really good things, and you know, our guys hanging in there. But you know, 13-10 was no big deal in my mind after the way we'd played in the first half.
Yeah, you figure it could not have gone much worse and still been in touch on the scoreboard. You reach point. I mean, first time you don't cash that in and they get a field goal and go ahead or whatever it was, you figure you're in for it then, even though it's middle of the first quarter, that the battle's on?
Well, you could kind of feel it. Just felt, you know, like it was going to get ugly to me. I don't know why. And again, I know it's, you know, maybe we harped on it too much, you know, throughout the week about being ready to go. I think our kids had a pretty good week of practice, and you know, I don't know, you know, how to put your finger on it, but you could feel things not going our way, and then on top of that, you know, we had been pretty good as far as penalties the first 2 games, and then this week it exploded on us, and you know, a lot of them you just don't know you know, sometimes what they're seeing or how they're seeing it, but the bottom line was there were penalties that were called and we had to deal with them, and sometimes that can happen to you on the road.
Well, it did, and again, Pittsburgh State would be fighting an uphill battle much of that game, but one day would eventually win. We need to take a break. When we come back, we'll delve into that ugly first quarter, I guess one way to put it. So stay with us, Adam Moore, when we return on the Coach Tim Beck Show, presented by CDL Electric.